I'm excited. I still think we have 5 great years ahead of us, maybe even longer. So I would not count us out, not this year, the next year, or after that.
Over the last few months, all I've been hearing about are the Lakers and the Clippers battling for the next few years, but one team that a lot of people have forgotten about are the Golden State Warriors. Like, I think this Warriors team has a really good chance at contending and possibly even winning next year's NBA championship. So let's get straight into it. Alright, so what is good, YouTube? It's your boy LegendaryEA, and we are back here for another video. And today we're going to be talking about the Golden State Warriors and just how good they are going to be in the 2020 to 2021 NBA season, you know, after this quarantine and whenever next season actually starts, because with them pushing back this season and suspending it, a lot of things can happen. But regardless, next year's team is going to be loaded. So in this video, I plan on talking about all the assets that they have, all of the potential players and assets that they can actually be receiving, and why I think it can actually work. But anyways, if you guys enjoy these types of videos, make sure you go ahead and like it up, and of course subscribe, and let me know which other NBA videos you guys want to see on this channel. Of course, we do NBA discussions, 2K rebuilds, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, let's talk about this, because all I've been hearing about all the Lakers and Clippers, and I gotta be honest, I know that this is a really unpopular opinion. I think that the Lakers' window of winning a championship is really this year. And I know that that sounds crazy, seeing how they have the #1 seed in the West. But at some point, Father Time does have to, you know, catch up with LeBron. And I do think that the only way for them to win is with LeBron being as dominant as he has been these last few seasons. I can't see an AD-led team winning a championship. And I'm going to be real. Outside of those two, the team is abysmal. So I'm not really seeing the Lakers as a threat. The Clippers are more of a threat. I know that the Clippers they haven't been playing spectacular during the regular season, but I do think that this team is built for the postseason with Kawhi, PG, Pat Bev, Landry Shamet, the Morris twin. They got a lot of guys, and they got Reggie Jackson for this year as well. Of course, Lou Will. They got a bunch of players that can hoop. So I do think that they will be a problem, but the Golden State Warriors, with Steph finally gonna be fully healthy, Klay Thompson is gonna be back next season, and I know that he's come back from a torn ACL, but Klay's game doesn't really rely on his athleticism in the first place, so I don't think that that's really gonna really hurt him a lot. Draymond Green has been complete ass this season. I'll definitely admit that, but that's because he had to be the #1 or #2 option, and he hasn't. Like, Draymond is literally a role player. He's the face of role players, to where he's perfect in his role. With Steph and Klay there, he should be close to what he used to actually be. And not to mention, these guys have a top pick in the 2020 NBA draft. Now, this pick was sent out to Brooklyn with their trade and KD and D'Lo, but it was top 20 protected. Right now, they have the worst record in the NBA because this season has been riddled with injuries. But they're gonna have that top pick, probably gonna end off somewhere in the top 3, top 5, hell, maybe even #1, since they do have the best odds currently. But with that pick, they can trade it for an all-star level player. Maybe that pick, if it's #1, or that pick along with Andrew Wiggins, and trade it for an amazing player. I'm not really sure who they can target though. Like, there are not many players on this list that are disgruntled. But I mean, maybe if the Bucks don't believe that Giannis is coming back, they can trade for him. I don't see that happening. But of course, that is a rumor that has been put out there a few times the last few years. I do not think it's gonna happen. They could possibly trade for Joel Embiid. I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's a lot more realistic, because I do think that the Sixers eventually will trade either him or Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons is another possible player for them to actually pick up in this trade. Now, if they do get Ben Simmons, the reason why them trading for Ben Simmons works, because he can literally do exactly what Draymond does. And I could even say he'd be a little bit better. Now, he won't stretch the floor or take the shots that Draymond does, but as far as playmaking, defending, and, you know, having a high IQ, he can definitely be in that mix. Karl Anthony Towns, once again, not gonna happen in my opinion. So I don't really see them trading away this pick for an all-star level player, because I don't really think anybody right now is currently on the market like that. Another thing that they could do with this top pick is trade it for a bunch of role players. Now, I cannot think of a trade for that, but this pick definitely has some value. So if they can bring in a few role players, maybe that's possible. Or of course, they can just use it and draft somebody like Lamelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Obi Toppin, or James Wiseman. Now, if I was them, I would take James Wiseman because the center position is clearly their weakest in the starting lineup. There was reports that came out like early this morning, whenever I'm recording this on April 1st, that they were not that high on LaMelo or James Wiseman. However, I don't take what the press says. In my opinion, I think that Obi Toppin, Anthony Edwards, James Wiseman, or LaMelo, either of those picks would work out, but I would look closer at Obi Toppin or James Wiseman. But any of these guys would be great on their team, whether they're starting or coming off the bench, because they have so much potential. And drafting one of these guys actually gives the Warriors somebody who's really, really solid looking into the future. Another asset that they do have, like I said before, is Andrew Wiggins. Now, whether they trade him or develop him, maybe even make him a sixth man, look, Andrew Wiggins is not the bum that people think he actually is. Yes, he was overhyped coming out of high school. He had a lot of expectations put on his shoulders that he did not live up to. But homie's not garbage. Like, you guys make it seem like he's legit, like a straight bum out there. He's not. You're not a bum putting up 20 points a game. I don't really care about the efficiency. No bum is doing that in consecutive years. Like, that's just not happening. So, thinking about it, Andrew Wiggins as a sixth man would actually be crazy lethal, just depending on what they actually do. But he's definitely another asset that they have, which I think helps their championship argument. This isn't going to be the same Wiggins from Minnesota. This is going to be a Wiggins who is a third option. And I honestly think making him the sixth man for a season, yes, he's making a bunch of money, but if you guys are really trying to win it next season, where he's a primary ball handler off the bench, might actually work. I mean, we saw it work for a lot of this season whenever he was in Minnesota. That could be something that the Warriors possibly explored. Another thing that they actually got going for them is whenever they traded Andre Iguodala, because they have a trade exception because of that, which gives them about $17 million. Yeah, that's a humongous dub that not a lot of people are talking about. With that, some of their top targets are players like Will Barton, Ricky Rubio, Evan Fournier, Dennis Schroeder, Kelly Oubre, Thad Young, and Rudy Gay. All of those guys can help out the Warriors in tremendous ways, especially coming off of the bench. Obviously, before I did mention Draymond Green, and I do think that Draymond, it is possible he gets traded. I really do not think that's going to happen, but that's still a possibility for them to possibly trade for a really, really good player. Regardless, all I'm trying to say with this video is that the Warriors have a lot of assets, and whenever you stack them up against all of the teams that are going to be contending next season, I'm still not a believer in the Bucks in the playoffs or winning a championship. The Western team, stacking this Warriors team, even against the Bucks, this Warriors team would be better. Stacking them against the Lakers, they are overwhelmingly better. And against the Clippers, the Clippers right now are a stacked team to the T, but with the Warriors assets, they can put together a team with just as much talent on it. And I still think that Steph Curry is going to come back and get right back into his MVP form. But anyways, guys, as with all of my videos, I did this to start a discussion. What do you guys think about this Warriors team and all the assets that they're going to be having this coming off season? Do you guys see them as a legitimate title threat? Because I think that if they do this right, if Bob Myers and Steve Kerr do this right, they would have the best roster in the NBA again. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about it. Like it up, and of course, subscribe. Comment down below who you guys think is me winning the championship in 2020. This season, hopefully, we get the rest of this season in the 2021 NBA season. But I mean, other than that, like this video, and of course, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace, y'all.